Some of you with familiar faces, and then welcome to everybody that I'm just now meeting. It's super great to be here. So as Marissa and Jeremy said, I am multiple things. I'm a choreographer. I choreograph for Cincinnati ballet companies, commercials, that type of thing. I'm a mom of 2 college-age students. I am a daughter. I am the owner of DANCEFIX, this business. I'm a professional dancer. I'm a cancer survivor recently. And I'm excited. I was so excited to be asked to do this theme. It matches me for the obvious reasons, because I'm a dancer and I, am in touch with music and moving my body. But also I'm excited to talk about the larger way that rhythm has just affected my entire life trajectory. So, in the rhythm. It's my first. So, Jeremy, do I just do this? How do I do it? Okay, cool.
Oh, you got it.
I got it. Yeah, so I hit these arrows here, right?
Yeah, any of the arrows. All right. Should work. There you go.
Okay, great. So what is rhythm? We all have rhythm. We've all been, when we were born, we were made up of many rhythms immediately with our heartbeat and our breath and contracting and releasing and inhaling and exhaling. And as I teach dance and I choreograph, I hear so often, I don't have rhythm. I can't do this. What does that mean? We all have rhythm. It has been proven that we have an innate rhythm that we are born with, but that also it can be somewhat genetic to how you hear music, how you pick up rhythms, how you move your body to those rhythms. But just know, we all are right now within each other's rhythm, breathing together, inhaling, exhaling. So from the moment I was born, my mom likes to say I came out of the womb dancing and moving. So here are some examples that I thought kind of showed my frenetic energy. So I grew up here in Cincinnati. I grew up on the west side of Cincinnati. And we came from a very humble beginning. My mom, teenage mom. And we basically, this is my yard where I would just frolic around and everything. But from an early age, I realized that dancing, moving, expressing myself through movement was a way that I could escape some of the chaotic world that was going on in my household. It was a house of love, but it was also a house of some chaos and different things with young parents growing up with no money, that type of thing. And so from an early age, I realized that I could just do this. And that this felt good, and that it made me feel really good. I could express myself and kind of have a disassociation with that. So I feel like my rhythm from a young age was to go, 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 and to kind of find my creativity, naturally through just moving around and all of that. When I was 9 years old, my mom put me into the School for Creative and Performing Arts here in Cincinnati, which is great because, like I said, we didn't grow up with a lot of money, and so it was the perfect avenue for me to be able to have a chance to express myself. But just like so many of us artists that start putting our time into this professional trajectory of our education with our art, I kind of hit a road bump along the way where I was told, oh yeah, you're not actually good enough. You actually don't have the body, you don't actually have the turnout, to be a ballet dancer. What we're thinking is we're gonna kind of push you more in this direction where your body fits more contemporary, which I like contemporary, but we're gonna push you in this way. And so I started to have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with what I was relying on for my safe space. And so I kind of started to rebel against the normal rhythm of where I was supposed to go with this. So, okay, I'm supposed to, from here, go to this level, and then I'm supposed to audition for companies, and then I'm supposed to do this. So once I was told, oh, you don't actually have what it takes, I'm like, well, why do I have to follow the rules of this then? I want to still be able to do what I do, but I want to be able to do it my way and within the way that feels the best to me. So for example, at the School for Creative Performing Arts, they would separate us by women and men, and you'd have women's class on point, and you'd have men's class where they get to do the fun stuff like jump, turn, roll the floor, do all the fun stuff. And so I said, I don't want to take women's class anymore. I don't want to wear point shoes. I feel like this is anti-woman. These hurt our feet. The men get to wear these flat shoes. I don't want to, basically look the same in the core of the dancers where we all have to look exactly the same. Our hair is to be the same. Our bodies are the same. Where the man is doing his solos all over the front of the stage, and they are all posed exactly the same, right? So I right away thought, well, this is bullshit, basically. I don't want to do this. And so luckily my teachers at Performing Arts said, why don't you take men's class? And so I started taking men's class at that point and thought, while the women were in there, I'm going to be in here. And it was so much fun because it was this liberating experience of like the guys in the class going, wow, oh my gosh, she's jumping higher than me. Now I need to push myself to like jump higher than them. So that was kind of one of my first experiences with, oh, I don't think I'm going to really take the regular path here in my arts career. Now, when I was out of high school, I kind of had burned out on the idea of dancing, and so I quit for a while. I moved out to Colorado, started college, decided I don't want to dance. I think it's, like I said, I was being rebellious against the norms, and so I took a year and a half off. And when I was out in Colorado, I was so as I told you, I was relying on this rhythm for my expression. I started doing other things. I was mountain biking, I was snowboarding. All of these things have a rhythm, right? But I wasn't finding that reward system that I had found from dance. And so it kept calling me back. So I ended up joining a troupe called the Durango Dance Co-op that were these like professors that had been retired dancers, and they had a little performance group that they would take around town. So I was like, this is what I need. I need to just get back into dancing because it's fun and because I like it. And so we would do community performances around, like to Sheryl Crow. All I wanted to do is have some fun in jean shorts, and we would which is really fun. And it just was the perfect thing because I was just reminded, but I have to rewind a little bit because during this time in high school when I was having this fight with, is my body correct? Am I too big to be a dancer? Are all of these things okay? My mom at the time had her own aerobics workout class in the 80s and early 90s. And so she would have me help choreograph some of these songs with her. So she'd be like, okay, let's do this Billy Joel song, we're going to like Uptown Girl. So I'd be in the basement with her. I totally remember it too. But I'd be in the basement with her making up these dances, or these jazzercising kind of type dances. And then I would go to her classes, which were these, aerobics classes where people were moving to sweat. And then she also they were small classes, but she had this community of people that she loved. And it was the kind of my first exposure to, you can dance, you can move your body and not have restrictions in moving your body, not have rules in moving your body, be with others, sweat, have fun, and get an adrenaline high. I also realized, I definitely am an adrenaline junkie. I love this feeling. It feels so good. And so that's one thing that as I did everything in my life, I always found like a cardio kind of workout of some sort because I started to realize that I needed to supplement that to stay in shape was one thing, but also for my mental health. It was pretty obvious right away. So I ended up, after a year and a half, getting back to dance and then going, now I really want to get back to dance. So I went out to New York and I started working in New York and thought I wanted to get into professional companies. Fast forward, moved to San Francisco. And so then I was dancing in companies there. But when I got to San Francisco, there was a class called Rhythm and Motion out there that's a dance workout class. And so, like I said, I found my little nuggets in each community along the way, everywhere I went, and I ended up at Rhythm and Motion. And what was so beautiful about my experience there is that it was even more so a large community, melting pot of every kind of person that could be in the room moving together. So I started working for them. Like pick me, I want to work here, And then in 2000, I guess it was in 1999, New Year's Eve, before before 2000, my boyfriend at the time, who we'd been together forever through high school, all the moves, proposed. And he's like, I really want to move back to Cincinnati to get married, and then we can figure out where we want to be next. And I was on my journey of my professional dance journey at that point, and I was really kind of getting in all these companies and performing all the time and dancing. And if anything that dance teaches us is this way to pivot quickly as a dancer and join a new rhythm, So basically, I decided, all right, I guess I'm going to do this. So in 2000, we moved back to Cincinnati. So this is where this journey begins. So moved back to Cincinnati, got married, pretty much got pregnant immediately. Okay, here's some photos just of when I got back to Cincinnati. There were Contemporary Dance Theater had a lot of opportunities for performance here, so I was still able to dance a little bit here, but it wasn't in the same way that I was used to in San Francisco. So I was having a bit of some grieving coming back here. And Rhythm and Motion, when I left San Francisco, was like, you can take this with you. You can see how this works in another place. We've never done it, but what if you take it to Cincinnati? So I did, and I brought it here, and I started classes. Let's see what's next after this. Oh, these are my daughters. So this is now, obviously, this is when they were born, Ruby and Essa. They're in college now. But so it was, like I said, I came back to Cincinnati, and I had this whole thing of, what am I doing? Who am I as an artist? Who am I as a person? I wasn't really thinking I even wanted to have children, to be honest, and surprise, they're there. It was the best thing, but at the time it was like, no, I'm not, even getting married, I was, as you heard about how I was as a teenager, I was like, why would people get married? Like, you just have to keep me independent, and why would you conform to the society rules of getting married, and, women are property, blah, blah. So I was like, so on the other side of this, I'm thinking, what happened to me? And loving my children, and being at the time happily married, and going, I don't know where I am as an artist. Where's the artist in me? How can I find this expression? Where have I pivoted too far, right? What rhythm? Where's my rhythm? Where's my rhythm? Where's my rhythm? Couldn't find it. And so luckily for me, I was able to bring this, at the time, Rhythm Motion with me. And pretty quickly, I started teaching classes at Tri-Health up at the Pavilion in Blue Ash, and at the Contemporary Dance Theater, and all over Cincinnati at the time. We were at the Madisonville Rec Center, all these different places. And I was really in tune with what everybody was wanting from the class. So I started these classes right away. They were big. The Cincinnati Choir wrote, person coming from San Francisco, yay. So my classes were immediately like 60 people in a class. It was awesome immediately. And what started to happen was, let's go here. I knew from Rhythm and Motion that this dance community was tight, but what started to happen here is that you could really see how I could affect how much community could be formed within the classes, how I could affect how we interact with each other in the classes, how I could affect how I reach into the city. And so pretty quickly I fell outside of Rhythm Motion's model of what they were doing and realized, I kind of have this beast of my own that I've created here now. And so I need to kind of pivot again and start DANCEFIX. So this is what we look like. So DANCEFIX, these are the teachers. So DANCEFIX is this crazy high energy workout class that basically brings both sides of me together in my expression. So the choreography itself is challenging. It's by professional dancers. It is not your step touching. You're flying through the air, grajeté, tour-jeté, doing hip-hop, jazz, Latin, African, contemporary movement, all in one class. And then what I wanted to do with it was to create this safe space for everyone to be able to do that without the rules. Surprise, kind of my life story. How can we, and then also just being where, I was talking to Casey about this earlier, I realized also that growing up at SCPA, at Performing Arts, that I was used to a very diverse culture surrounding me, and same thing when I moved away, San Francisco, and when I came back to Cincinnati, I had this moment where I went, oh, what happened to our city? It's kind of segregated, it's super racist right now. And I said this to my mom, she's like, oh, no, it's always been this way. I came back right when Timothy Thomas was murdered and over the Rhine. And I realized I had been in a bubble when I lived here the first time, but because I was only surrounded by people who had similar likes and visions as I had, and then went away and came back and went, oh no, we need to find ways to bring people together in this city that are authentic ways of connecting that are going to help solve some of this segregation of our neighborhood. So my goal was, I started at Tri-Health, but I was super intentional about saying, everyone looks the same in this room up in Blue Ash, and I need to recreate the vision that I have. I need to create the vision that I have and that I felt before in my life. And so my goal was, how can I be in spaces and places where we are going to be able to attract all different kinds of people. One of the ways that was very intentional is I felt that if I could hire people with all different dance backgrounds, people that could mirror the community that I wanted to attract, then I would be able to allow people to go, oh, I might not move like Heather, but I can move like Julie, or I can move like, Adrienne, and I can see myself in these people. Because if you don't have representation in the front of the room, realize it's pretty simple, then it's not always a comfortable, safe space for people to be able to feel like they belong there. So early on, how am I going to do this? And so the first step that I did at the time was I moved to Madisonville. I'm leaving Tri-Health and moving to the Madisonville Rec Center because we need to mix this up. I was in College Hill Rec Center. And then in 2003, when I had my daughter Ruby, the ballet approached me, Cincinnati Ballet, and said, we want you to come work for us upstairs. And I had already thought, this is going to grow, and I'm going to have my own studio, but I kept getting these offers where people were grabbing at me, and I'd go, okay, same thing, pivot to the new rhythm. So Cincinnati Ballet said, we feel like you are great at building a community and attracting people and getting people into your classes. Can you do this for us at a larger level? And so I started working for them first in the academy and then became their education outreach manager. So here are more photos of DANCEFIX, just to give you an idea of what we look like. I wanted to talk a little bit about just the power of movement in unison and synchronized movement and what that does for you. So I know as an individual I express myself through my dance, but I didn't know. I knew it felt good to dance with others, but I didn't really know the exact benefits and the actual science around what is happening in our bodies when we dance in unison. So we all try to match the beat naturally when it comes. So when we synchronize with each other, synchronize to the rhythm, but also synchronize with each other in unison movement, you actually are releasing endorphins, serotonin in your body that correlate with joy, resilience, and social bonding. So this is the piece that I didn't know. Of course, I knew I felt good when I moved. I knew endorphins were coming out. But the social bonding and then rhythm and synchronizing with it is a medium of our relationships with ourselves, with each other, and with the world. So in DANCEFIX, I like to say we're all moving in unison, and we're literally raising the vibration of the entire planet. That's what I would like to say. So I do think that that's so powerful, and it's a big reason why DANCEFIX has grown to where it is. So one thing that happens, which you can read this if you want, but basically, if you are aware in your own body, in your own movement, it actually, if you have body awareness, it actually correlates to empathy for others. They have proven this. So the way that we move is actually improving our way to communicate with each other and our relationships with each other. So yes, this says, you keep those skills even when you're not moving. So this is just an example of like a class on a New Year's Day and the amount of people. So Started it in 2000. It's grown now. We've been keeping it going this whole time. We see about probably about 500 students a week right now, and I have 14 instructors here. We're going to open a new studio in Walnut Hills. We have 2 locations, and then we also are in Nashville and in Kansas City now. So I've expanded. But the reason I wanted to bring that up right now, as it correlates to this, is because I like to say on a Saturday that when we're dancing in Cincinnati, we have 2 classes between 9 a.m. and 10:30, and then in Nashville they have 2 classes on a Saturday morning, and in Kansas City now they have a class on a Saturday morning at the exact same time. And so there's like 300 of us dancing in unison across the country, raising the vibration is how I like to believe it's true, and bringing joy hopefully on to ourselves, to each other, and to a higher level. So I just thought that is super powerful when we're talking about the rhythm of dancing in unison. And so, continuing the story, I started working at Cincinnati Ballet, always doing this. Got grabbed by NKU. Hey, come, I'm going to steal you from the ballet. Come teach for us. I worked there. Patty was a student. Worked there for 8 years, teaching full-time, dance, choreographing their shows. Oh, and I'm forgetting, this whole time, I also am choreographing for Cincinnati Ballet. Asked me to start choreographing for them. I choreographed for Nashville Ballet. Just all the commercials, different things. I've done 14 world premieres for Cincinnati Ballet. So it continued from that point. I got divorced in that time. I had my mom got diagnosed with cancer, lost 3 relatives to the opioid crisis. Just like on top of all these things, life was, causing more reasons for this to happen, more reasons to get together, more reasons. So I think that as I needed more, it's always been what do I need, and I'm going to assume you all need this as well. So what do I need in my new rhythm, and let me present that and see, and then pivot with all of you. If all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's not working, or we need to change, just like how I changed from rhythm motion to DANCEFIX, it's because I'm trying to listen to the community. What pieces are missing? What can we do to help through the movement, through creating more energy? So one way we do that is we go out into the community. So DANCEFIX, it's how do we look? Amazing. So we're a workout class technically. It's like this weird, I like to say, because people are like, is it like this kind of workout or this kind of workout? And I like to say that DANCEFIX is actually a dance class that you happen to get a workout doing, because it's a little weird. It doesn't quite fit, surprise, in any of the boxes. It has its own thing if you were to take it. So these are all students. What we do is we take the choreography from class and we go out. It first started as a marketing effort. We did the tall stacks back in like 2001 as our first community performance, and then it became pretty well known. I noticed pretty quickly that it wasn't about attracting others as much to our class as much as it was to allow the people in class to express themselves in a different way, which also caused retention, because we're having these dances from class, and people are going, oh, I better get to class to learn it. So from a business standpoint, it made sense, but it also hopefully felt rewarding. And we don't force this on anyone. Not everyone has to do this part, but the people that want to take it further get to go out into the community, and then the community gets to feel that they can find themselves in this, right? Because maybe if I was to go out and just dance and cry by myself, people would be like, that's great, but I don't move like her. So we do the same thing that the teachers are doing for our students on a larger level out in the community, and we go, it's all right, look at me. I'm moving like this. You can totally move like this. Let's go. Let's raise the energy. Let's create joy and work on our empathy while we do it and move in unison. So this is that's Pride. This is Second Sundays on Main. We do fundraisers for a lot of the arts organizations around town. We're kind of known as party starters. So we donate our time for all of these. So we say, we will come to your event, we will get people hyped up, we'll keep the dance floor going, we'll do a flash mob and surprise them and raise the energy and keep the energy up is our job. So this is for Cincinnati Ballet. This is the North Side Parade right here, another Second Sundays on Main. But we do everything. We were just, name it and we've been there. I can't even think. We do probably 1 to 4 events a month. So we're doing Light Up the Square this next week. So we're just constantly doing community events. And it's to give back to the community, to support the community on a larger whole, and to support each other and what maybe how the students want to express themselves. These are some of my choreography photos that I do with the ballet and just different things. I realized, and this is becoming more so in the next year, that what I do in DANCEFIX with trying to cultivate community and relationships is also how I choreograph on the larger stage. And the reason I like to say the juxtaposition of these two things is because all that training, all the years, I still love that attention to detail and to use my brain in that artistic, like super deep artistic way and sculpt the dancers and have a different kind of voice compared to maybe some of the other choreographers. Some of that voice comes from when I first got out to San Francisco. I told you I didn't know how I was gonna want to move. It started at SCPA. They brought in, when I was a senior, they brought in an African dance troupe. And, so I was always second line ballet class, all of this stuff. And they brought in a workshop for an entire week. And they had the live drumming. And immediately I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing! I'm like, yeah. So that was it again. Then, oh my gosh, it made me feel good just now. That felt so good. I'm like, yes. So when I first got to San Francisco, I was like, I am not going to do any kind of dance that I've done before. I'm going to dance professionally, but I'm going to dance in an African dance company. Okay, so this was my idea. So I took African dance every single day, and I took capoeira, which is a Brazilian martial art. Also growing up, I had tap, jazz, acrobats, gymnastics. So I was trying to grab onto as many styles of movement for myself, for my own knowledge as possible. And when I was first asked to choreograph for Cincinnati Ballet, I say these things lightly, but this is not how the trajectory usually works. It goes professional dancer, all the way through to a ballet training, ballet company, the men, artistic director and choreographer from there, a couple women, right? And this is just how the dance world works. And you usually have to have that pedigree of being like, I danced as a principal dancer with such and such company. I did not do those things. So when I started choreographing, I think the draw to pull me in was more like, your movement's different. You bring a little something different we haven't seen. Can you do something along those lines? So my choreography that I do with the dancers is contemporary ballet, and it does have all of those elements. Like a lot of my gymnastics and different things come into play when I'm choreographing. And then I realized that a lot of my choreography is so community and relationship focused, even on the ballet, that it's subconscious. I'm always working things out. I'm creating on them on the spot. I'm literally sculpting them and coming up with this idea. But at the end of the story, it's always about me working out something relational. I go, oh, there it is. There's my shit. And we all have that as artists. It's true, as artists. It's not, obviously that's why we do it, right? Because we got to work through our stuff, and it's how we express it. But so this looks like it could be anyone from DANCEFIX, but these are the dancers at Cincinnati Ballet. And just to kind of give you a look of how I'm really just about community and group work at the core. Which not group, but some of those. Okay, so through last year, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I was not ready for this picture, sorry, I didn't know it was next. And it was unexpected. So in the middle of my very, 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 very busy life, I found a lump myself. And it was, like I said, we didn't have a family history really of this. There was no genetic makeup. There was no reason for me to be worried about breast cancer. And I found it. So last year, I did 18 rounds of chemotherapy, surgery, and 30 rounds of radiation. I just finished in April, actually. So it hasn't been that long. But I just want to speak to how that affected life, right? Like, first of all, we all know it's the cliche that when you get the cancer, when life stops when you get the cancer diagnosis, right? And it does. Talk about change of rhythm and a pivot, right? Huge. And my first gut feeling was, right away I was like, oh, what do I have to do? I didn't go into, it's that whole like denial thing of like, okay, what's next? What do I have to do? But I did think that as who I am as a person, I was fighting with how is this going to present itself as I'm in this vulnerable state to the community, to the people that I'm teaching, to everyone. Like my biggest fear, even though I have something that could kill me at the time, was how am I going to look to others when I'm this vulnerable? How am I going to be received to others? And so my gut feeling was, if I had all the money in the world, let me just hide out for 8 months while I lose my hair and go through all these treatments and everything. And I really struggled with this idea of telling my community, even though, because I'm a leader in the community, and what does that look like? And do I want to, be seen this way? So I struggled with it. I started treatments and nobody knew for a while. I was at events with everyone, and I did the parade, I did that circus event, we were like getting chemo and then coming, and I'm like doing all my stuff. And then I thought, okay, I need this actually. I need my community in order for me. Now, I did have smaller groups of my community that held me up immediately. The first people I told were like, what can we do? What can we do? They were feeding me. They were showing up. Of course, every single person showed up and said, we're here for you through this. But I wanted to keep doing what I was doing. I was choreographing for the ballet, a piece at the time. So I had to tell them, hey, I know I'm choreographing for you, but I'm going to be really weak, and I'm going to be getting chemo at that time. And they said, that's okay. We'll make it work. We'll video, and then when you're able to be here, wonderful. When you're not, we'll just run it. And the dancers were amazing. And then with DANCEFIX, I thought, how can I communicate this to everyone? I had this fear that people would be sad for me when I saw them, and it would kind of ruin the vibe of the raising the vibration in the room for everyone, including me, if I showed up and everyone just started, poor Heather kind of idea. So I put out an email to all the students that just said, here's what's going on. I still want to come to class. When I come to class, I want to be able to just enjoy being with you and moving, because it's going to be healing for me. And I want to have the thing you can do for me over everything is to keep dancing and to help me keep DANCEFIX going and raise the vibration. All of my teachers rallied together, and they all showed up for me. I'd come to class with no hair like this. I didn't get wigs. I just put a sparkly headband on like this. That's why this is us at Blink. I'm like, all right, why? Now we all know why hide it all the way. So I just put a sparkly headband on, and I showed up, and everyone showed up for me. And I felt so comfortable with being able to go, today, here's the energy, and here's what my rhythm is today, and it might not match the room, but I can give this, and then I can step back, and you all take over, and then you welcome me back in, and then take out, and it was a brand new, I don't know how everyone felt in the room, but I felt so taken care of by everyone, and I felt like the thing that I needed for my healing, which was my community and my dance and my movement, that had always been the thing I needed for healing, I was able to still utilize through all of the treatment. And so, like I said, we did flash mobs, we did all of that, and I'm just now probably back to being able to be like, yay, energetically back to teaching exactly where I am. But what that leaves me with now, that is my big struggle, is that there's a new rhythm, there's a new normal. My body doesn't feel the same. My priorities have shifted. they've shifted more into the relational, that my relations are the most important, my relationships, and that I'll do anything. And that, I've always been someone who's been social, but this idea that I am a workaholic, I've pushed, I'm always constantly moving, I never sit down, I didn't even know cultural references to movies. I seriously, as you saw me buzzing around, I'm someone who cannot relax, right? But this forced me to do that, and now I'm very mindful that I don't want to get back to that exact same rhythm. And it's testing me, believe me. I have so many things going on, and I'm trying to find a new way that I can go. Pam says, do you want to have lunch? And I used to go, I'm sorry, I have 5 things on my plate, I'm too busy. And now I take a breath and go, yeah, I can cross it off, right? That's just where I am. And so I'm super grateful to my community for lifting me up, and it feels like this full circle that when I need to lift them, and then when they needed to lift me, and it's just this beautiful rhythm and wave, and so I'm just really grateful for that. So that's my story. That's it. I do want to get everyone moving in unison because, we have to. Are you up for it? Okay, let's do it. You're awesome. Yay, I'm so better. So let me just teach you a couple things and then we'll do it with music. And it's going to be a little different. This is our first song in class right now, but I'm just changing it slightly. So you're going to walk like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, touch right, touch left. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, touch right. Oh yeah. Hey, 2, 3, 4, right up. 3, 2, 1, and out. Now we're going to reach up for 4, so you're going to stretch 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. You're going to dig side to side. Let's do that again. We reach up, and 2, and 3, and 4. We go side to side and push. We're going to go forward and back. We go up, 2, 3, and back. 2, let's do it again. And up, 2, 3, and back. Now we're going to go jump. And a single, double. And a single, double. And a single, double. And everybody pose. So, I do have you on the single, double. Standing on, because I'm choreographing in my mind right now. As we do the single, double, I want you to turn and face somebody else, and when you finish your pose, I want you to be facing someone. So we're going to do the whole thing again? Just for fun. We're going to go.